Hi guys, welcome to a fresh update here on the channel. We have the latest on Jack Silvagni. Two important bits of information here as this story continues to unfold. We saw earlier in the week that he had in fact met with Craig McRae, and there are rumours that he has done a medical with the Pies. Michael Voss spoke today, and there's two bits of information which I think are really important in the developments here. Firstly, he was asked about what he thought of Jack meeting with Craig McRae.
Here earlier in the year when Oscar Allen met with Sam Mitchell, what
did you think
when you heard Craig McRae say that he met with Silvagni?
Everyone will sit quite different on this, won't they? In terms of their forward. I guess where I sit very much is respecting the privacy of the player. I guess it's not for me to announce something like that on behalf of someone, because they're the ones that have got to walk back into the locker room. So I can't speak to how other coaches will go about that, but what I can say is how we would go about it. And I guess in that instance, we'd probably choose not to make that sort of announcement. It's not. I don't feel like that's our role to do that. We'll always make sure that we respect the player first. And while I didn't necessarily read all the headlines around Oscar, I believe he come under a fair bit of heat. And I think that's probably a very good reason why we just temper the reason to do that.
Yeah, so interesting there. Respecting the players' privacy, each to their own. I must say I did find it fascinating that McRae almost bragged about it to the public. Unusual to see. I had forgotten about the Oscar Allen stuff earlier in the year. That was a bit of a shitstorm in WA. So very interesting comments there around Jack needing to come back into the locker room. And then secondly, the other part of the story, which was confirmation that Jack Silvagni will not be playing for the rest of the season.
How is Jack going still on the sidelines? Is there a sort of return to play timeline there yet?
No, he's not. So he'll end up, while it's still be confirmed, it sort of looks like he'll probably end up missing the rest of the season. So it's unfortunately it's taken a fair bit of time for him to be able to recover from those groins, and it's been a very slow recovery process.
So this is where I'm a little bit confused. The reports around he's done a medical may or may not be true, but from the Carlton side of things, his groin hasn't come up. His soreness is there. So is he injured? Is he not injured? If he's not injured, is he just taking some time out to assess his options? Is that what's happening? Can somebody please help clear that one up for me? And then thirdly, I guess this little bit here around, his importance to the football club.
What I'll say is that, Jack's had a really important role shift this year. It's been a real win for us to be able to see where he's gone from forward to back. I want to be really clear that he's a very important player to us. We value what he's done. We value him at our football club, and we're certainly hoping that he plays out the rest of his career with us.
How confident are you at
well, outside of probably what even just that he's exercised to have a conversation. And I think a lot of players are doing that. That's not exclusive just to Jack. Anyone in the same situation has the right to be able to do that. He's exercised those rights. So keep having conversations with him, and outside of that, we crack on and we keep going forward, and we hope the decision at the end of the day is that he'll be with us.
How did you handle the conversation around the fact that it got out that Craig McRae announced it to him?
No, I was surprised, but I mean, obviously, I'd already spoken to Jack anyway about what was happening. So, it's unusual for a coach to announce something like that. And like I said, regardless of what Craig did, it's not something we would do, and we'll respect the privacy of the player, and we move on.
So did you know the medical taking place?
I beg your pardon?
Did you know?
No, I didn't.
And
no.
Given the fact that you and Craig are premiership teammates,
it's irrelevant.
Make the call?
It's irrelevant. Yeah.
You don't make the call to him?
No.
So there you have it. The response to Jack meeting with Collingwood. Where do you now sit in this story? I think my opinion is I think he's gone. I think this is it. I don't know if there's many of you out there that were listening to SEN today, but Margaret called in. I can't find the audio anywhere, but she had a passionate plea for Jack Silvagni to stay at the club. So look, that's the latest on this story. I sense that it's going to get sadder before it gets happier. But yeah, look, still 4 games to go. The attention is more so on what's going to happen with the future of the club more than what's happening in the moment and in the present. And that's the challenge, I must say, I find right now as a supporter, trying to stay in the moment when there's just this lingering thing coming. But anyway, that's the update, and that's the latest on Jack Silvagni. He will not play for the rest of 2025. That's official. And he definitely did meet with Craig McRae. And yeah, what do you think about what you've seen in this video? Chat to you in the comments. Go from there.